Hello everyone! Phase 2 of Season of Discovery is out, and on stream, quite a few of you asked, what is up with the shadowy figure storyline? Do we get anything new? And happy to report that we do. It's not massive, but it is fun enough to talk about. So what better reason than to sit down and talk about the story of Season 2? Now considering that we haven't talked about Season 1 yet, let's begin there. For those that don't know what Season of Discovery is all about, in a nutshell, it is classic World of Warcraft with a twist. Runes can be discovered that offer skills in the game that weren't around back in the day. For example, paladins can actually deal damage with Divine Storm, or mages, they can learn how to heal, rogues can be tanks, so really cool twists that freshen up an old game. We got an event within Ashenvale where the Horde and Alliance had to duke it out with each other and their generals to see who could claim dominance of the zone. Rewards, mainly in the form of reputation, making it a whole lot easier to get the vendor rewards connected to Warsong Gulch. Only up to revert though. If you want to get to Xal'atath, then you were going to go into that battleground, into Warsong Gulch. Either you went in there as a pre-made and you would win, or you would solo queue and you'd get farmed. Rarely there was anything in between. But thankfully they have changed that. Queuing up as a pre-made will now have you more likely face off against another pre-made, and queuing up by yourself will most likely have you face off a group of pugs. We also got a new 10-man raid, Blackfathom Deeps, the sunken Temple of Elune that you know as a Dungeon from Classic. Some familiar faces, but new fights, new loot rewards, even some sexy epics, and a brand new banger of a song. We also saw new profession quest edits, and that is where some of that speculation was born. The idea that Xal'atath, in the form of a shadowy figure, is hopping between the timelines, hopping between realities, versions of World of Warcraft, in order to perhaps get our collection of old god essences complete. I do want to make it clear that this is speculation, it's not been confirmed. We don't even know for sure if she is gathering these essences, but it is speculation that I personally really like, because not only does it connect different game types, it connects in such a way that nothing really changes. Xal'atath, as we know, she already works with those that have the power to jump the timeways, and if she really wanted to get essence of Kafun, she could also go into Ankiraj and grab it there. A story like that would work just as well. This would just be a small taste of a connection, a fun little Easter egg for those in the know, if it is even true. After the Realm came together and declared their intentions for the future, we said goodbye to Season 1, honored the ranks of Boys Love and Crusader Shrike EU, to which Season 2 unleashed, with a level increase from 25 to 40, new skills, mounts and runes to pick up. This time, the PvP event takes us into the jungles of Stranglethorn Vale, which anyone that has played on a PvP realm within Classic can tell you, it's not exactly a safe place to hang out. It's gank or be ganked at the best of times, let alone when the blood moon strikes and everyone loses their minds. Unless you have asked one of the Zandalarian emissaries to protect you from its effects, you will become hostile. Hostile to everyone. Horde and Alliance killing each other. Now you might say, let's be safe in numbers. Let's form a big old 40-man raid team and dominate the zone. But no. Trust me, you do not want to go that route. Because the troll, Kadamu, chosen of the Bloodloa, they will sniff you out and bring swift justice. Someone in their lives thought that they were weak. But during the blood moon, Kadamu collects ears and devours flesh. I followed him around for a while, and it seems like when left alone, he will patrol into the Gurubashi arena, and then goes out again. The arena still has the chest event that you can fight over, but it spawns at the same time on the blood moon, so I wish you best of luck. Being near him while gathering blood will increase the amount of blood earned, so it's a bit of a risk versus reward kind of thing. Alternatively, going at it solo is also not the best strategy, because the aim of the game is to get killing blows. If you're the one sending off someone into the afterlife, you're gonna earn blood for the blood god. If you die, you'll lose a couple of stacks, but nothing major. Kept at around 255, you can offer the blood at one of the altars on the map and then turn them into coins. Coins that you can use to buy rewards, and they've been pretty clever about this in my opinion. It is super quick to get the upgrade gear, which means that you could just relax. You can enjoy the event for fun, and maybe just farm it for the longer goals, like the special mounts they've added. I would recommend it to do it with your friends. Form a party of 5, find your spot in the jungle, and just start bashing heads. The chained spirits will return to life, and for a limited amount of time, you'll be invisible to the other players. You'll get a speed increase, but you're also unable to do anything to cost anything. Just turn on some of your favorite PvP tunes and just enjoy 30 minutes of madness.
Storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
A story, as far as I know, has not really been given to this, but maybe we could put something together ourselves. Safe to say that the blood god that they're going on about, that would be Hakkar the Soul Flayer. I doubt that we're already dealing with G'huun. This is classic after all, within the jungles of Stranglethorn. Hakkar is a Loa, a blood god, worshipped by the Gurubashi trolls. In a time that things weren't exactly going great for them. Around 1500 years ago, we would see the trolls that had gone from ruling Azeroth to now having to deal with poverty and hardship. They were desperate to reclaim their former glory, and so they turned to Hakkar the Soul Flayer. The malevolent spirits promised to help the Gurubashi extend their empire. In return, he demanded large numbers of living sacrifices. For a while, their bargain worked out pretty great. Even the Zandalari were happy to see that the Gurubashi, that they were thriving, but soon enough, they figured out that Hakkar, he would never be sated, and his bloodlust would not only cause the trolls' destruction, he would devour the entire world. So it was that they rallied their forces, stormed the Gurubashi capital of Zul'Gurub, and through great sacrifice put a stop to the Loa and his most crazed followers. Not the end of Hakkar's worship, as some of his most zealous priests, the Atalai, who'd been trying to summon Hakkar into a living form, they moved on over into the Swamp of Sorrows, where they set up their temple of Atal Hakkar, trying once more to bring their bloodthirsty Loa into the world. Their grisly rituals and ceremonies twisted the flora and fauna surrounding the temple. This in turn drew the attention of Ysera and the Green Dragonflight. Charged with guarding the domain of nature, they turned their temple into the Sunken Temple, put guardians behind to make sure Hakkar and his vile evil would stay gone. That's the history. And in Classic, the story would move forward with finding that the Green Dragonflight got corrupted, their guardians weakened, the Atalai survived and pushed on forward. Under the leadership of Jindo, they actually managed to bring Hakkar this time. The Loa of Blood manifested as a force of death and insanity, but heroes of Azeroth, Horde specifically, they put a stop to the Blood God. However, timeline-wise, that is not where we are with Season of Discovery. Sunken Temple and Zul'Gurub are not done yet, so that story is still to unfold. What we have right now is a whole bunch of people going absolutely crazy under the effects of some kind of blood moon. It is the Zandalari that offer us protection against these magics, which, when you think about it, all of us should really embrace, because what we're doing here is making massive blood sacrifices to Hakkar. The coins created, the gold version even says, an icon of your great service to the Blood Loa. Or so that we can get rewards from the Gurubashi Blood Changer, while ultimately providing the power for our own demise.
Face the wrath of the Soul Flayer.
That's really all it could be, adding an extra bit of us messing up and bringing Hakkar back. The old Ancient Egg questline, it had a similar thing going on where we accidentally helped with Hakkar's return. Yet at the same time, this is Season of Discovery, and I've been wondering how they're going to deal with the old raids. Onyxia, Multicore, Zul'Gurub, Ankiraj, Blackwing Lair, Naxxramas, all of those old school places where we used to get our endgame items from. With the runes and the new gear, our characters are more powerful than ever before. What if they weave the events of Season 2 and they'll make it play out into a later season? Have what we're doing right now be the reason why Hakkar is not only back, but more powerful than ever before. New abilities, new tactics to overcome, all because the jungles of Stranglethorn were taken over by the Blood Moon. Again, it's a really small change, but one that would add a little bit of flavor. I would be super down for it. But that is something for the future, I suppose. Right now, we have another raid to conquer and a profession quest to go through. This time around, we have Gnomeregan turned from dungeon into raid. The old story of Gelbin Mekatork, leader of the gnomes, getting played by Thermoplug and accidentally causing more harm than good. That still stands, like the original story still stands, and if you want to see it, we got a video on Gelbin up on the channel. But there are a few twists. There are some fights that require tactics, or that have simply been upgraded. Grubbus and Jumper are the first, together with waves of Trog ads. The gas, both from Gnomeregan and Grubbus' rear ends, is rather lethal, but not just for us. The gas clouds will follow the closest player, and you'll want to run the ads through them for an easy clear, while focusing damage on Grubbus. Now, having Grubbus touch the gas clouds will not instantly kill him. Instead, he's going to enrage. Vicious fallout will spawn ads if you let his green blobs reach the braces on the ground. Slower stun the ads that he spawns, while focusing them down, and then return to the boss. Crowd Pummeler will try to punch you off, but his punch comes with a bit of a wind-up. Don't stand in front of the path of his fists to avoid the attack. Or, if you want to make it simpler, just try to move behind his fist as best as you can, while at the same time avoiding the cogwheels spawn on the field. Healers, make sure to remember that he is going to charge a random player to pummel them to death when he gets to low health. Electrocutioner will cast chain lightning on the target furthest away from him, which has to be shared with 2 extra players, otherwise it's going to be an instant kill. But this also leaves a debuff on those that have been hit, and it will increase the damage taken from the next chain lightning. You want to make 2 groups of 3 and have them shuffle back and forth while one of your players is ready to substitute, as the boss also puts a static field on a random player that is going to force them out of the group, unable to soak with them, so you gotta make sure to have a player ready to replace them when needed. The Menagerie is fighting a bunch of animal robots that need to die at the same time or they'll repair themselves. Ranged, you want to focus on the sheep as it does an AoE stun to those in melee, but do be careful as it also casts a reflecting shield on itself. When it has a blue lightning bubble, you'll want to swap targets. The dragon will do a frontal cone, avoid that attack. The chicken will drop an egg on the ground, kill it before it explodes. The squirrel apparently throws a widget at everybody which deals AoE damage. I saw a guide mention that you can interrupt this, but I'm not exactly sure. In case you're dealing with mana issues, there are buttons around the battlefield which deal damage to you when you push them, but also restore a bit of mana, so make sure to use it when you need it. And then the last boss, Firmaplug, will use the all the known abilities of summoning bombs during the fight, except this time you'll actually want to deal with them. You can see which one is activated by following the lightning from the ceiling. Push the button as fast as you can to close the mouth, while the other range they keep the bombs cleared. Getting touched by the bombs deals a ton of damage and will leave a patch on the ground. Push to the button also deals damage to you and leaves you with a debuff, preventing you from instantly pushing the next button. A nice job for the ranged team to deal with. Besides that, there's like 4 phases to go through. Fire, frost, poison, and all of the above. Fire has a stacking dot on the main tank, which can be dealt with by taunt swapping, as well as a flamethrower that the tank needs to run away from. Frost applies a stacking freezing debuff, and every 25 seconds the robot blows up, applying AoE stacks. The more stacks the raid has, the more damage the tank takes, and running through those bomb patches also applies stacks. They can be cleansed, or they can be dealt with a free action potion. Just don't let your tank be one-shotted because of those stacks. Poison Phase has a cast AoE spell without a cast bar, which needs to be interrupted. You can see him casting it by looking at the animation, while also dealing with the nature damage that's going out. And then the final phase, the Ultima phase, it has you deal with all of the above again, so you have to deal with fire, frost, and nature. Kiting him, slowing stacks, and interrupting the spell that he cast, all the while bombs are still dropping that need to be dealt with. Personally, I think they've done a fantastic job with Gnomeregan, and they added a bunch of tactics and mechanics you need to deal with, which might be a bit spicy for pucks. Time is going to tell. Within Gnomeregan, we also find the little NPC hub city, where in Classic you would just cleanse your grimy items. This time around is no different, except trying to cleanse a grime-encrusted salvage that puts you on the profession quest line for this season's epic rewards. The Salvage Medic 9000 is supposed to be able to cleanse this, but it's broken. Ziri, the wrench little sprocket, might be able to fix it, but she's going to need 10 mithril bars, 5 greater mystic essences, 3 GG12092 cartridge fuses, which drop from the trash in Gnomeregan, and a pristine G7 core processor, which is the hardest one to get. Outside in the loading room, we kill TechBot, who drops a corrupted core, caked with corrosion and a sticky black substance. We may need a specialist to help restore it. The inscription on it is a bit hard to read, but Ziri knows that this was made by the one and only Wordall Wonder Gear. Everybody knows Wordall. He is probably the most well-known computational engineer in all of Gnomeregan. A real hardcore dude, but no idea where he is right now. When things started to go bad, he managed to make it out with some of the other refugees. Last she heard is that he was staying in Booty Bay, where a Goblin engineer has been working on a new type of teleportation pad. That would surely have caught Wordall's interests. The Goblin in question is Chief Engineer Scooty, the same Scooty that hooks up Horde members with a teleport to Gnomeregan. He lets us know that Wordle left a few months back to go somewhere in Kalimdor, but he still ports in every now and then to just grab some supplies. He could modify it and teleport us to his place, but only after we get his coordinates from 4 quadrangulation beacons found in Kalimdor, found in Ferelis, Dustwallow Marsh, Tanaris, and Desolis. With the job done, Scooty beams us up to the pillar in the lower wilds within Ferelis. Wordle has a few of the menagerie animals with him, and even his own little toilets. Also kind enough to help us out, but he is going to need a somewhat hard to get item, a charged Void Core. Naga spellcasters are known to carry these, and while he can't be sure where or how they're made, they tend to act as a powerful foci for certain types of magical rituals. The key components to his G7 core processor units, a Void Core in the hands of the Naga connected to the old goddess Zoth. The local Naga that we kill only drop a spent Void Core, so we're gonna need to charge it. Some of the earlier guides, it sent us off to kill demons in Desolis, but reports are coming in that any of the kills will do. I fixed it by clearing out my cache, and then killed a bunch of the demons in order to see the next part, in order to talk to our good friend, the shadowy figure. Well, isn't this a fun bit of serendipity? You need something, and I just so happen to have exactly what you're looking for. You again, what do you want? I want to help you, of course. That Void Core you carry, it is well and truly spent, but I could help you charge it. The shadowy figure raises its hands, and a tiny mote of energy floats a few inches above its palm. And what might this assistance cost me? Nothing, of course. The benefits of altruism are not lost on me, and I very much enjoy cultivating mutually beneficial relationship. Who knows? There may come a time when you are in a position to help me and may find yourself feeling similarly altruistic. Remain silent and hold out your hand. The tiny floating speck of energy floats over into your waiting palm. There's a smart hunter. Use it well and enjoy. With a charged Void Core, Wordle hooks us up, but won't be responsible for any electrical fires, electromagnetic pulse bursts, demonic manifestations, or interdimensional vortexes that may result from the installation and usage of this processor. Regardless, epics await, and with that Salvage Medic 9000 in operation, we can cleanse more to get the reagents needed, eventually make our epic gear. Once more, the shadowy figure provides us the means of improving ourselves, making us stronger for the future. Is it a future planned within Season of Discovery, or is this Xal'atath molding us, making us ready for the assistance that she requires in the war within and beyond? I would honestly love to see an expansion where we lose, the world is plummeted in darkness, and we find ourselves allying with Xal'atath. I think that would be pretty cool, but yeah, here we are, the story of Season 2 of Season of Discovery. Hope you enjoyed. See you in Stranglethorn Vale, and until next time. See ya!